NSTA bus that was kidnapped around Zingiru, and second event took place at the secular school in Kagara. And at this moment, we do not have any additional information to give apart from the one that was given earlier on yesterday. But I want to assure you that we're doing everything we can. We're interfacing with the local communities, federal authorities, and our own state authorities to ensure that we recover the victims safely. Our utmost priority right now is to make sure we bring them back home safe. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So there hasn't been any new information I can give us at this moment. But once we have something for you, we'll let you know. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, sir.
Yes.
My name is Emperor Simon from Channels Television.
Yes,
has there been any, do we yet know where the students, staff, and those kidnapped from the Kagara Government Science Secondary School and those from NSTA are? And if we know, what is their condition at the moment?
Emperor, I can say everything is being speculated or rumor. And in situations like this, we cannot work with rumors. It has to be confirmed. So yes, we're hearing, we're receiving different rumors from different people within villages. And we're still treating those as rumors until processed and confirmed. So we're working on that.
Your Excellency, we also see pictures that are going online talking about the deplorable situation of the school and other information. What do you have to say in that regard?
Who are you, please?
I'm from Arise. I'm a Okoye from Arise.
Yes, thank you very much. The deplorable state of the school, and if you notice, the school has no fence. We have 60 boarding schools, out of which only 9, as far as I'm concerned, you can call a proper school, and those 9 we renovated them. I think the problem is most previous administrations did not pay attention to the schools. Instead, they paid more attention to investing in new schools. But like I always said, when we came in 2015, I said, listen, our maintenance culture is very bad. I know we politicians, we like to cut the tape. But if we don't maintain what previous administrations have done, because we want to do a new one and cut tapes, we'll find ourselves in a very good situation. That's what is happening. These schools you see have been built 30, 40 years ago. Some of them have not seen paint in 40 years. No paint, no fence. Yes, then 40 years ago there was a bit of peace. We do not have the security challenges we have now, so it was okay then. But now, our schools must be fenced. So when we came in 2015, we started the whole school approach. Basically what we did was started rebuilding schools. And each school cost close to about 350 million or more to do. They were so bad that they didn't have toilets, no fence, no roof, they had blown off roofs, staffs living in very bad conditions. So we decided instead of doing temporary measures, we should rebuild those schools. At the moment we have rebuilt 9, we have fenced them, we have provided what is required of them. But you see, we take these programs on a zone-by-zone basis because Niger is a very complex state. Niger is 76,000 square kilometers. So we have 3 zones. But once we have resources to fix schools, we don't concentrate on one zone. And within each zone, you have 8 or even 9 local governments. So out of 60 schools spread within 25 states, 25 local governments, 3 zones, we take, in the first phase, we took 3 for each zone. We took Izom from Zone B. We took Girls' School in Mina from Zone B. We took from Zone A, we took Kutigi and Bida. From Zone C, we took Kwatogora and Rijau. So in total, we have done 9. But I want to draw your attention. Please note that the situation we're in today did not start today. It did not start yesterday. It predates even the Kure administration. You can't do this, you can't fix these schools in 20 years. I'm doing this because I know it hasn't been done, because you spend a lot of resources. Most politicians shy away from spending money on such things because politically people don't notice. Most politicians want permission. But I'm hoping that once we do our bit, once we fix the ones we can fix, I pray subsequent administration will continue. If in the last 16 years, each administration did 9, like we have done now, then the 9 we're doing now will be, by calculation, that would be 3 times, what's that? 27. So we would have had 27 good schools, and going forward, other administration will continue. But now we have started the process, and I'm happy we have started the process, and I'm glad you asked this very important question. This gives us the opportunity for, on a separate note, to really look at the education system, and I've put the future of education. All of you will be briefed by Minister of Education. I'll probably see what has been done. I think it is important to see what has been done. The school in Kagara is one of the schools to be attended to. But on the timetable, on the calendar, we haven't reached, it's not their time. But if you go next door, 30 minutes, 20 minutes drive from Kagara to Tegina, you see the narrative is different. Just go next door. You can't take all at the same time. We have 600, over 500 day schools, 60 boarding schools, over 1,000 primary schools. With the primary schools, I think we did much better because we're getting support from UBEC. So out of 1,000, by now we must have done probably about 600. And thankfully the records are there. We have established some new schools to train teachers, because one of the major problems, apart from the infrastructure, even if you do have a good infrastructure, you don't have the teachers, there is waste of time. The ultimate objective is being flouted. So, yes, I'm happy you put this question, and I want to assure you that we're giving it every attention. Kagara and every other school, not only Kagara, every other school in the state. But we cannot do all. I'm not promising doing all 60 schools, because we do not have the resources. In a state where 80, 85, almost 90% of our revenues go to payment of salaries, and we're not able to cope with the payments. We're still not able to cope. So I like fairness. When you concentrate on the negative, please also look at the positive. I know it's not an excuse, government is to provide, but what is real, what can be done should be done. But you can't, with the financial problems we're having, I think a lot of efforts have been made, and I can assure you more will be done.
Good day. Excellency, my name is Hamish Rogo. I'm with the NTA.
Yeah.
Your Excellency, how do you manage anxiety of the parents now, based on what you have just said? And then anxiety around the areas, seeing the rise in activities of bandits and hoodlums around this area. So how do you manage the anxiety in that area?
Well, the anxiety of parents, whenever we get the opportunity, we try to calm them down. Naturally, when you have your loved one abducted and you don't know the situation they are in, you have to be worried. But people around the Kagara axis are quite comfortable now, because they have seen the presence of a lot of security agents, and that has been good. see, what we're trying to do here, we're using the kinetic and non-kinetic measures to address this problem. We want to bring them back home by all cost, at all cost. So we're doing every possible best. Because you probably saw the gentleman I saw off. We had a meeting with them. It's all part of the efforts, ongoing efforts, using the kinetic and non-kinetic techniques. So I want to appeal to the parents that we are deeply concerned. Nobody has slept here. They are our children. And we are doing whatever it takes. It is my hope, it is my prayer that in the next few hours or days, they should back. Because a lot has been done. I cannot give you details of what has been done, but a lot has been done. So I think we're reaching the final stages.
And the anxiety around the area generally based on the increased activities of banditry.
The anxiety around the increased activity, just like the schools. Let me be blunt on this. The system has broken down at all levels of governance long time ago. And that's what we're suffering now. It has broken down. Just like we spoke about schools that have not seen any renovation. So who's 40 years old, have not seen paint. 40 years, I was a young boy myself, 40 years ago. Which means some schools, right from the time I was young to date, nobody has paid attention. The same thing applied to the security network. Intelligence, for example. Do we have adequate intelligence? It's always better to be preventive. And the only way to be preventive is when you have very good intelligence, not to allow it happen. Not to allow it happen. Using all methods. Intelligence is key. Even when you have armed military personnel, without the right intelligence, they cannot perform. Okay, in the past we had local intelligence. You had security men in all walks of life. You have security men as true shiners. You have security men as barbers. You have security men cutting nails within communities. They watch. You had village heads that would report to the authorities when someone new comes in. But these days, intelligence is technology. You need technology. Niger is 76,000 square kilometers. We try to provide or to support some of the responsibilities of federal authorities by investing in equipment. How many state governments have to invest in equipment, in trackers, drones? But even when you buy this equipment, it's a problem to bring them in because you need the approval from the federal authorities. At the moment, even as a state government, we paid for 100% for the drone. Over 3 months ago, it's been ready. We cannot pick it up because of end user certificate. That drone will help security agents on ground because they cannot patrol the forest with vehicles. They can't. No access. So a state like Niger and so many other states that are battling, that are suffering, had to use part of their little resources to invest in these equipment. But even when you buy them, you cannot bring them in. It takes forever to get end user certificate, a lot of protocol. And it should be like that. I thought when we make our efforts, the least we can get is to expedite action in bringing them, because when we bring this equipment, in any case, they will be operated by federal authorities, not us. So we're only supporting. Why is it taking 3 months for a drone to come in? Situation like this is when we need those drones. It's simple as that.
Your Excellency, can I ask one more question
Yes.
without taking you back? When we spoke to
Come on,
the respected Sheikh Gumi,
please.
and he says that the
We
bandits
spoke to
are
who?
asking, the respected Sheikh Gumi, he says the bandits are asking for blanket amnesty. What motivates that need, if you know?
I don't know when you spoke to him.
I mean, while he was leaving.
You spoke to him now?
While he was leaving,
You spoke to him?
we had an interview. Yeah, the general interview he granted, not just speaking to us.
I'm not aware of that interview. I don't know when he had an interview. But yes, we had a discussion with him, and he's going to come back with a summary of his findings. So I'm waiting to get an official report from him before we take a decision. Yeah?
Okay, please, let's have the last question.
No.
Your Excellency, sorry sir for the outburst.
Yes.
Sir, a while ago, you had a visitor in your office.
Yes.
And you are giving an assurance now that the last stage, getting these children released. What did you get from your visitor? And your visitor.
My visitor, and not just my visitor, Sheikh Gumi, Marlon Gumi has been on this voluntarily for some time. You recall that it was in Zamfara, Katsina, and any other state that has the same problem we're having now. He also offered to assist. And at this point, whoever has anything to help with, we're ready to listen. So he came back early this morning. Unfortunately, we did not have much time to talk. He has to go for a burial in Abuja. But what we have agreed is he's going to send me a comprehensive memo of his findings and suggestions on what he thinks we should do. And hopefully I should have that to do that tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Because somebody was...
Sorry, sir. I want to just do a follow-up. They have some addition. Moving forward, sir, when this incident happened on Wednesday, precisely you said 4 local governments that are prone to bandit attack, the boarding schools there were to close down. And we do know that there are several other boarding schools in the state. So moving forward, what are the mechanisms that you put in place that we don't see this kind of incident in Niger State?
Well, I'm a state governor. I'm confined to maximum vigilantes under my control. Maximum. Yes, I have police, I have military. They respect me. We meet, we have security meetings. But I don't have a total control. For example, if I have a non-performing commissioner of police, I can't change him. Or a brigade commander. They're not under me. So, to give guarantees as part of the state government, what we need to do is to secure our schools, which we are already doing. Most of the schools are not fenced. In the case of Kagara has no fence, and that's why it was easy for them just walking. If there was a fence, it would have been more difficult. So while we are working with federal authorities, they are being overstretched, they are trying their best. The commissioner of police is here every day, the brigade commander is here every day, we meet. But how many men do they have under their control to police 76,000 square kilometers? Some local governments have less than 40 policemen. Some. In some towns, you see one. In many towns, you see 0. And that's why we have to strengthen and improve and re-engineer the local vigilante system. So once on the state side, we're able to put in place measures that will make it harder for bandits to access schools, it will give us some comfort. We still have a lot of schools that are not fenced. They've never been fenced, make them that way. We have started the process. It's a slow process, very expensive process, but we have to do it. And in doing such things, like I said, Nigeria is a very complex state. You have to do it on a, you all know, you're on a zone by zone basis, even within the zone, on a local by local, because if I did 4 in this zone and I did 1, they'll say, ah, it's because I'm not Bagi. Or they'll say, ah, it's because I'm not Hausa. That is the problem. So whatever you do, you have to spread. You have to spread it among 3 zones. Because this state, many people don't understand, is a very complicated state. Whatever you do, somebody is criticizing. Because we have 3 major language tribes, Hausa, Bagi, and Nupe. So whatever you do as a governor is one piece. You must divide into 3. For fairness, for equity. And that will make the process slow, but the long run is ongoing. It's ongoing. But I mean, I'm very hopeful, and I believe if we had, if not because when we came in 2015, there was a huge decline in resources, as you all know, would have done more. But unfortunately, with the little resources we have only been able to do 9. But going forward, because of this emergency, I've told the Commission of Education, even if we don't fix the schools, we should at least fence them. To provide more security, we should fence them. So fencing exposed school will be a priority, and I believe it will help. And at the same time, working with the local vigilantes and the local traditional rulers, I've called for a meeting with all the first-class emirs on Tuesday and all the ARCOs, all the Fulani heads in Niger State on Tuesday to discuss. Sometimes we need to understand ourselves to find a solution. Maybe they also have problems. Maybe. So we need to talk to them to read their minds and to understand what their problems are so we can address it. And the truth of the matter is, since independence, no one has paid attention to headsmen who are mostly Fulanis. Because not all headsmen are Fulanis, but at least 90% are Fulanis. Nobody has paid attention to them. Nobody has paid attention to their education. All we do is we see them on market days, they come and we see and we laugh. They come from the forest to the market day, they buy what they buy, they go. Nobody paid attention. Nobody. So they were moving from place to place with their cattle being attacked. But now the time has come to stop all that practice. It is no longer feasible. There are no cattle routes anymore. As long as they move their cattle from different towns or from different states or from different countries down south, there will be problems. Because there are no cattle routes, because our population has increased. We have 200 million now. More people are farming. We have paid more attention to farmers. We have paid more attention to farmers. All the programs, all the incentives to farmers. Zero. Herders. They also add to GDP. They also will increase our economy. They also can create jobs. If planned very well. So the time has come to look at them and capture them in the system. And that must be done for an everlasting peace. What else?
Your Excellency, sir, please, Chinedu Asadu from the Cable newspaper. Sir, please, we want to ask, since you know where the locations of these bandits are,
I did not tell you I know the location.
The forest they usually camp, sir.
I did not tell you I know the location of the bandits, because I'm not in the forest.
So please, if you find the location of the bandits, is the state considering granting them amnesty or flushing them out entirely? And secondly, sir, please, some Nigerians
I said we're using both kinetic and non-kinetic measures.
Thank you, sir.
Both kinetic and non-kinetic measures we're using.
Secondly, please, some Nigerians have said this is an indictment on your administration, considering that it's not the first time that students have been kidnapped from the school. Are you considering resigning over this incident, sir?
I'm I'm not considering resigning anything.
Please conclude.
Your Excellency.
Two, this is the first time that students are being kidnapped in Niger State. Yes, they've been kidnapped in Kankara and in Kaduna State. But this is the first time students are being kidnapped in Niger State. Who's next?
Your Excellency, sir, fighting security requires financial backing. Very expensive, capital expensive when it comes to procurement of weapons, procurement of vehicles to the police to
Yes,
the
I
army.
can tell you that.
Yes, sir. So I don't know whether is it intent your government stand to reach out to stakeholders to complement the effort of the government in the ongoing fight against criminality in Niger State. What we have in Niger, in other states, but let's talk about Niger here. What we have in Niger, you have complemented the effort of the police by refurbishing their vehicles. Your colleagues in other states are procuring more vehicles to complement the effort of the command, their respective command. What is the position of Niger State towards addressing the urgent needs of the security agency in tackling this menace?
Now let me start with the cooperation existing between the state government and the police or security agencies. For example, we support their operation, and like you said, it costs a lot of money. I can't go into details because these are security matters. For every officer or soldier or policeman out on the streets, there's a daily allowance being paid by the state government. If you do the calculation, it's a lot of money. Ordinarily, one would have thought to come from the federal. But because the federal is overwhelmed, it's difficult. So we have to support. A few moments ago, I mentioned our efforts in supporting intelligence by providing some equipment, DSS, and at the moment we have a tool for operations that is yet to come. It costs a lot of money. Every governor wants to see peace in the state, and when called upon to support, he will. But like I said, there's something wrong with our intelligence. Because it's better to prevent than to allow this to happen. It's better to prevent. So when you mention stakeholders, I see stakeholders are not only the police or military, the traditional rulers are stakeholders. The village heads, the ward heads, they all have something to offer. We must come together, and that will be my message on Tuesday. The village heads, the ward heads, should be able to know people within their domain. They should be able to alert us when they see suspected people within their domain. Now the system must change, the structure must change. In the past, when traditional leaders had more powers, in the past, the days when you pay cattle tax, you don't have these issues. Because when you pay cattle tax, they call generally, apart from revenue generating, it's like a monitoring system. Every herdsman pays cattle tax and is given a receipt. With that receipt, you're able to say this man is coming from this place. Now maybe I don't know if it's possible, or maybe it's difficult to bring the generally back, but we must have some form of monitoring system to monitor people that enter our country or move within borders within our state. We must. Our borders are so porous. Where do you think these arms are coming from? Through our borders. And to monitor a border or a country like Nigeria, almost 1 million square kilometers, you need equipment. You need equipment, you need special aircrafts, 24/7. You need special tools. You can't do it manually. So I think the state government and the federal need to come together, join hands, get the experts, and decide what is needed to protect our borders. Let's protect our borders first. Let's know that internally. Let's study movement internally. Let's give more responsibility to our village heads, our ward heads, let's task them. You have to break down the network all the way down. Because as designed, the way it's designed, you have the ward heads, the district heads, the division heads. So if you use that structure very well, I believe you get some peace. I think so.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your
All right,
Excellency. Thank you very much.